Scott Bernstein coming at you here from OG Pod headquarters. We're going to be rolling out a Patreon very soon, $5 a month, a lot of exclusive content. I'm excited to share it with you guys, so be looking for it. Check it out, coming in August, OG Pod, Patreon, members only. Welcome to the Original Gangsters Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Bernstein. Quick hitter, we're going to go out to the heartland, Kansas City, Missouri, and some news that actually hit the mainstream press in the last couple of weeks related to, well, two things. It's related to the closure of a longtime Kansas City underworld hangout, Gil Houlys, on West 39th Street, had been in the KC mob business portfolio per se for 3 decades, and just either late last month or early this month, they shut the doors in relation to a lease dispute. This was written up in the Kansas City Star. The Simones have had control of Gil Houlys, I think, for at least 20, 25 years. It was at the end of its tenure was in the hands of alleged Kansas City mob soldier Joe Pete Simone, who's in charge of kind of the younger youth movement in that small, very tight-knit borgata. And then originally, or I shouldn't say originally, at one point in time, in terms of chain of custody, it belonged to his father, Las Vegas Pete Simone, the OG underboss of the Sevilla crime family in Kansas City. Let's go back to some reporting that we had out back around the holidays, late 2023. There was for lack of a better term, a brawl that erupted at a popular Italian restaurant mob hangout in Kansas City called Cascone's, involving the Simones, as well as allegedly other made members. Not exactly sure who was fighting who, how it all, logistically went down in terms of, a timeline. But it was a fight. It involved the Simones. It eventually, within 24 hours, the issue reached the alleged godfather of the Kansas City mob, Johnny Joe Shortino, who had to, convene hey, this isn't how we behave. This isn't how we conduct ourselves as, men of honor. And we didn't know exactly why. I had reported that it involved a dispute over business interests in a restaurant or bar. And now I can say definitively that that fight that happened in late December of 2023 related to this situation with Gil Houlys, which has now shuttered. And it was a business that I'm told was really hemorrhaging money over its last couple of years. And there was a lot of finger pointing over, whose fault that was and how to kind of dig themselves out of that hole. But anyway, the 78-year-old underboss of the Kansas City mob was involved in this, this round of fisticuffs. And it appears that some made members, non-made members might have put their hands on him. And this is what Johnny Joe had to come in and settle. So I'm told that all of this, fanfare from the media about the closing of Gil Houlys, if you kind of scratch beneath the surface, it's more than just this lease dispute allegedly between Joe Pete and the owner of the building. I know Joe Pete in the article comes off very angry, and I've heard that what he's saying is true, that he put a lot of his own money into certain things in that establishment, the bar, other improvements that were only due to him, and that he's angry that they can't keep control of the property because of the lease. But there were some other issues, and again, I don't know the specifics of it, but the issues that were happening in Gil Houlys led to this fight at Cascone's back in December of 2023. And then finally, I will say that the story behind how Gil Houlys got into this Kansas City mob, business portfolio is, just one of those old tried and true stories of when you do business with members of the mob, come hell or high water, you're going to pay. And I'm told the original owner of Gil Houlys had a big gambling debt, and he gave up the business to the Kansas City mob as a way to pay that debt. Originally, it was given to Johnny Mandicina, mob enforcer, convicted murderer, just came out of prison last year on a medical. And then when Mandicina went to prison, I believe it was in 92 or 93, the business passed to the Simones. So, Joe Pete Simone, again, is this is all, allegations and accusations, nothing proved, that he is, kind of the head of the younger guys. None of them, I'm told, are made, but guys that work for the administration of that crime family, which are all OGs, guys that go back to the 60s and 70s with the Sevilla brothers. So the notion that there is no Kansas City mob, and anybody that's telling you that doesn't know what they're talking about. It's obviously not anywhere near what it was. It's small, it's insular, but it's still there. And Joe Pete is, a guy who used to be a minor league baseball player. He tried to be an actor. But right now, according to our sources here, according to people on both sides of the law, he's, following in his dad's footsteps, Las Vegas Pete. So that's our report from Kansas City. Please like, subscribe, and share. We got the Patreon coming out pretty soon. Look for that. Scott Bernstein, OG Pod. I'm out.